Hello, this is Dave Vincent as the WPH Live TV and USHA get ready for the men's four-wall open doubles final. We hope you're enjoying another great day of exciting handball action from the 65th U.S. Handball Four-Wall National Championships. Let's send you to the show courts right now. My name is Dave Vincent alongside David Fink for this men's pro doubles final. And I don't know, Dave, if this is an official stat. I try to pass it along to the USHA to see if it has ever been done before. But Marco Chavez is in tune to get 2 pro double championship trophies in the same tournament at a national championship. In other words, he would be slamming doubles twice. And the reason for that is that he is going up here with Sean Lenning in this pro doubles final with Vic Perez and Mondo Ortiz as their sparring partners here for this final match. But then he's also in the big ball pro doubles finals. This is the first year they've allowed big ball to be played at the four-wall national handball championships as part of a national championship trophy in the open or pro category. And Marco Chavez is also there with his partner Gabino Vasquez, and they're going to be going up against Ricky Ruiz and Samson Hernandez after this one ends. So that's going to be back-to-back matches for Marco Chavez. And the reason for that back-to-back is that there were some players that had to get out on earlier flights. And I guess Marcos is a rare example that he's not going to benefit from that change whatsoever, but that will definitely go on right after this one is over. So get ready for that. It's Mondo Ortiz and fellow LAAC member Vic Perez. You remember Vic Perez and Marcos winning the U.S. Open early this year. And so Vic has now become a right side powerhouse for winning these big pro double categories, either at the U.S. Open, now going for a national championship trophy. And Marco Chavez, also an LAAC guy. So we've got 3 of the dudes in the finals here all playing at the same court in Los Angeles. Sean Lenning being the odd guy out from Tucson, Arizona.
Well, Sean's sort of from everywhere, Dave. Spending some time now in California, but we alluded to this a little bit late in that women's final, that maybe on paper you thought that Sean Lenning and Marcos beating Emmett and Charlie Shanks was an upset based on their singles rankings, but you have to remember Marco Chavez has been the most prolific doubles winner and highest money earner in doubles over the last 10 years. He's won 6 Simple Green U.S. Opens, and those come with those big cardboard checks, Dave. So, to me, also based on how much doubles Sean Lenning and Marcos have played together in the past, they're the favorites to win this event. Obviously, Vic.
Well, I was looking at it from the standpoint, Dave, that Charlie Shanks was the current national champion in doubles.
Right.
He won with Andy Nett the previous year. And I know that Emmett and Charlie have played together before, but there's certain variables there. And I was looking at Marcos having to go 2 different ways, and doubles does put a lot, takes a lot out of you. And Marcos is also in his 40s now. It's not like he's a spring chicken.
Well, Dave, you and I are having a disagreement about the age that you always are bringing up, as though every 21-year-old is super fit while 40-year-olds can't carry the load. But in fact, I don't necessarily agree. Marcos looks very, very good. And he seems to really just have fun in there, and I think that takes a lot of stress off your body.
The one good thing you can say about Marcos is that he and Sean Lenning have kind of developed this, starting to develop that I formation that Marcos is known to want to play. And they're kind of working into it as doubles partners here, even though they have won a national championship together before in 3-wall, and there's a first left-handed kill shot from Mondo Ortiz to force the side out.
That was an amazing shot from Mondo, just right out of the gate. You know, Dave, like we talked about, doubles is so even if one team seems like they're not quite as good as the other, always seems to be close, and it comes down to who can make big shots at the end of games. And yesterday we saw Marcos make a couple of amazing backwall kills in that first game when he and Sean trailed 19-16, came back to win that game 21-19, 5 straight points, 3 of which came on Marcos Chavez backwall rollouts right in front of Emmett and Charlie. Doubles matches, Dave, are kind of like NBA games. You know they're going to be close.
Second serve.
With 2 minutes left or late in games, and just whoever can execute.
3 serve 0.
It's almost as if, and we've done a lot of doubles matches on these live broadcasts, it's almost as if you wait till the 15th point is scored before you start broadcasting the actual match.
Can we do that? Oh, sorry.
I had a feeling you were going to say that.
4 serve 0.
The referee is Jesse Aranda.
Second man. Four serve 0. Check it.
And that ball was,
that ball would have made it.
Hit on a rope.
4 serve 0. Short. Second serve.
And that's amazing.
Wow.
Vic Perez, to me, Dave, is the next breakout star on the Race for 8 tour. He was very unlucky, I believe, this season in his blind draws and also in losing 4 matches in overtime, all of which he had match points to win.
Hinder ball.
But you think about some of the draws, Dave, that Vic Perez had coming out of the qualifier, drawing Paul Brady one time, Sean Lenning one time. Didn't play in the US Open because he played doubles there, so didn't get the ranking points there. I think Vic Perez could easily be in that top 8 or top 6.
Side out.
Played very well in singles in this event, defeating Abraham Montijo in a tiebreaker in the first round, and then playing Paul Brady pretty well in that quarterfinal match, although not scoring all that well, but was very competitive.
One serves 5. Check it. Thank you. Replay. 1 serves 5.
Dave, this refereeing reminds me a lot of
2 serves 5.
the big ball reffing at the US Open, which I know that you love.
You mean where the patrons out at the swimming pool can hear the score?
Well, I was thinking more
3 serves
down the
5.
street, but yeah, they also hear it at the swimming pool.
Short.
Oh, no, I was talking about the swimming pool down the street.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Then yes.
Second serve. Second man.
And for those that don't know who Marco Chavez is, he's the one wearing the red,
3 serves 5.
which you could also see from the swimming pool down the street.
Right out.
We're going to see, Dave, this match and our next match, guys that all
5
live
serves
within
3.
15 miles of this club, with the exception of Sean Lenning, and that play each other 3 or 4 times a week. They'd be playing today anyway. Unfortunately, that doesn't interest you, but Mondo Ortiz and Sean Lenning won a national title together in 4-wall doubles in 2011, becoming the first team to defeat Dave Chapman and Emmett Peixote in the national final.
Point. Six, serves 3. Point.
Wow, nice shot there from Mondo Ortiz.
Seven, serves 3.
As we've said before, Dave, Marco Chavez, a mentor figure to both Mondo Ortiz and Vic Perez, and Sean Lenning cites Marco Chavez as his favorite player, so he's certainly the most popular player in this court.
3, serves 7.
Also a fashion trendsetter.
Dave, not about me, but early in my career, I looked up to him as well, just in the same way that Sean and the other guys do.
Point.
There's a kind of a cool balance between him being the most relaxed, coolest guy on and off the court, and then him being so intense at times on the court. He's one of the only few people that I can even, state that is passive and aggressive in both in good ways.
6, serves 7.
Yeah, no, those both sound like compliments, being passive aggressive.
I don't mean it as passive aggressive, but passive and aggressive.
Oh, the and.
Sean's similar in that sense.
Dave, how does your shot selection change playing doubles compared to singles?
Second man, check it.
So
Check the ball.
the one thing about doubles that I find very interesting is that you have to make quick decisions, and you have to be very confident with the decision that you make. So it's for those that have a very cerebral mind. Guys like Sean Lenning, guys like Marco Chavez, your selections change in the middle of the shot. You think you know what you want to do, but you have to alter quickly, and you have to be very confident with what you're doing. I mean, the openings aren't there. I mean, there's always an opponent standing either in front of you, next to you. You have to use your pass shots and your ceiling shots as tools.
And you're sliding on one knee re-kills, a la Sean Lenning right there.
Well, it's definitely more acrobatic.
Second serve.
Chavez and Lenning trailed 7-3, now tied at 7 on a 4-point run here.
Point.
Make that 5.
Eight, serve 7.
You also see that Vic Perez and Mondo Ortiz have switched sides.
Point. Nine, serve 7.
Dave, did you say this is a 9-point run?
Right now 6 points.
Point.
Make that 7.
I thought this ball was short.
I call the serve good. He's appealing to serve. Girl. Good. Good serve. Both agree. It's a point.
Watch this, Dave. I think it
And
just hits
serving
before
7.
the line. And that's about
Point.
3 inches.
Timeout.
And that's a nice run from Sean Lenning and Marco Chavez, who slap each other's gloves as they exit the court here on a timeout call. This is the men's pro doubles. These players are coming into this show court here with a ton of fans that are watching either on the live broadcast and or local. They always put on a show. Sean Lenning's a fan favorite everywhere he goes, but then you have Mondo Ortiz and Vic Perez, and Marco Chavez is equally one of the most popular players in handball, so he brings a crowd as well. The least popular person in this live broadcast is our director, Chris Garrad.
Wow.
which is very odd. So one of the very few times where
10 seconds.
Chris isn't in the top 2 or 3 of any discussion.
Door. Nacho. Time in. 11, serving 7.
Very difficult, Dave, to score 8 consecutive points in doubles. It was Mondo Ortiz and Vic Perez taking out the #1 seeds, Tyree Bastidas and Nick Nahorniak.
7, serving 11.
That was about as lopsided as you'll ever see a doubles match, Dave. Under 10 in both games. I know that you agreed with that #1 seeding for Nikolai coming off knee surgery and
replay the ball.
Tyree, but didn't really validate that #1 seeding with their semifinal
7,
implosion.
11.
Well, I don't talk about seeds on the air, but I could say that, you know, if I were to look at the doubles and to reevaluate, I thought that Charlie Shanks and Emmett would have probably gotten the nod just based on the fact that Charlie won last year. And Emmett was the #2 seed in the men's singles.
Oh, replay.
That's a screen.
In the ball. 7, serving 11.
It was Marco Chavez and Vic Perez defeating Tyree Bastidas and Nikolai Nahorniak in the U.S. Open final this year. Also 2 lopsided games. I know, Dave, it's hard to keep all these names and teams straight. I think they should have team names, like, you know, you've got the Cavs and the Warriors. Imagine if we had to say Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Andrew Bogut every time we talked about the Warriors.
12, serving 7.
I mean, you can understand what I'm
They do,
saying,
don't
Dave.
they?
Well, second man.
They kind of do, but the difference is the play doesn't last 7 seconds.
12, serving 7. Short ball. Second serve. No, bad bounce.
Oh my gosh.
And Dave, for whatever reason, the balls are not sliding today. There was a lot of rain yesterday morning, and I think that probably had a lot to do with the moisture in the court, because this morning's a lot drier here in Southern California, as you know.
Well, that's because there weren't people in the club working out all day long, sweating and getting their humid wetness
13,
all over the
7.
interior walls here at the facility. It was fairly dry throughout the night.
Serving 7.
But I'm not a meteorologist. I'm a media bumbleist.
You're the type that if you don't know something about something, you're not going to talk about it.
Point.
Either that or I'll just take a class at the college.
Oh, side out.
So now, Dave, 12 straight points.
7, serving 14.
Just doesn't seem like Mondo and Vic have had a lot of opportunities to hit kill shots. They're just on the run, and of course there's the announcer's curse as Vic is on the run and just shovel kills a left-handed retrieve.
8, serving 14. Short.
Spoke to Sean Lenning this morning about
Second serve.
this match, and he said that he just wants to win for his brother Marcos. That's one of the reasons why doubles is special, Dave. I know it's not your cup of tea, but It's the
ball.
closest thing in handball to having a team sport. And those that grew up playing team sports as
Eight,
opposed to
serving
single type
14.
sports like golf or individual sports like golf and in tennis or boxing, playing doubles is really interesting. There's a lot more to it.
Thank you.
Especially when you're playing against somebody that's your idol or with somebody that's your
Eight,
idol,
serving 14.
somebody you look up to. And if you're watching handball for the very first time, you're going to notice that one player is wearing all red. It might even throw your contrast off on your Google TV or however you're watching this.
8, serving 14.
That player is Marco Chavez.
And that player just hit a 2-inch high rollout off the middle of the front wall.
And the reason why he's just wearing red is because it's an individual sport in that sense that you get to kind of pick your clothing. And he decided to wear red today, everybody else with the dark colors. He's not being singled out.
I couldn't see it because you were in front of. Did you see it slide? Did it slide? Did you see it slide? I didn't see it. I couldn't see it. You didn't see it?
Dave, a lot of other action taking place on the grounds here. It was Jessica Gawley defeating Aoife McCarthy 21-11, 21-20. That was for women's 5th place.
Replay the ball.
That had a huge gallery, both upstairs and downstairs here.
Dave, you played in this tournament in the pro singles. What was your placement in the 5 through 8 playoffs?
Well, there's not a 5 through 8 playoffs here, so I suppose I tied for 5th.
Side out.
4 guys tied for 5th, I would think.
14, serving 8.
It was nice. I got to play 2 matches here.
Point.
So that was good.
Time out. Two minutes.
Mondo Ortiz first calling the timeout, but then realizing that his gloves were wet, and he said, wait a second, this is really a glove change. I'm not taking an official timeout. Referee didn't really clarify that, whether or not it's going to be a timeout or a glove change, but it appears that Mondo talked the referee into just taking off that timeout and just using the 2 minutes for a glove change. You're watching the 65th USHA 4-Wall National Handball Championships in Fountain Valley, California. Men's Pro 4-Wall Small Ball Doubles Finals. After this, it will be the Big Ball Finals, and it will get rowdy in here, as Marco Chavez and Gabino G-Man Vasquez will be going up against Ricky Ruiz and Samson Hernandez. Court has not been too wet leading up to this doubles match, although the ball did slide a couple times in the women's final, but it wasn't to obsessive levels that we've seen on this show court over the weekend and at previous events. Things might change after this doubles, though, and it's good to see the referee making the players take their shirts and replace them. Of course, Marcos is going to continue to wear that all red outfit that he has on, brought to you by his sponsor, Owen Gloves and LAAC. United States Handball Association has a brand new rule book out that has been printed. Contact them at their office. You can email them at handball@ushandball.org as the players search for the ball here. Somebody took it off the court. They can't find it, but this new rule book is available. And one of the reasons why they printed a new rule book is that the President's Club of the United States Handball Association got behind it. Said that was one of the projects that they wanted to support, and therefore they voted on it, and the President's Club got that initiative done. They say that the President's Club is still open for those that want to make an impact on things like that, like this live broadcast, for example. If you want it to be done, you can contact the USHA and get on to the President's Club with a $1,000 annual donation, and that we get back into play here. There was a slight screen, a little bit of contact, no call from the referee.
Dave, I'm always comparing handball to golf, and you can see why. I mean, the players spent a couple minutes looking for their ball after that timeout. You know, Dave, from playing some golf, that happens quite a bit. I know I saw you out there with the rattlesnakes trying to save your par just a couple weeks ago.
Also going on at the exact same time on a side court because of flight considerations. The women's pro doubles final is being played. And Dave, I hope that we can get a score from that match between Team Casey and Team Riley.
Yeah, that would be a great match to watch. Unfortunately, as you mentioned, Dave, we won't be able to see it, but we'll try and get you those scores.
I'm gonna call that a good serve. Good serve. Good serve.
No appeal.
They both saw it short, so it's a short serve. Second serve.
Very rare to see an ace in doubles that doesn't hit the side wall.
Side out. Eight, serving 17. Short. Second serve.
Dave, I believe all four of these players will be entered in Venice Beach next week in the small ball, big ball crossover. I would say all of them will have a chance to
9, serving 17.
become the crossover champion. All these guys play big ball very well. Obviously, they are all great small ball players. And you have to have them on your short list, Dave, of guys that are favored to hoist the crossover championship.
Yeah, between singles and doubles and small ball, 3 of the 4 have actually won national trophies in the pro division.
And Vic Perez has won a U.S. Open trophy.
Point.
So each player in this court has won major titles.
11, serving 17. Bad bounce, hold the ball. Replay. 11, serving 17. Oh, short ball. Second serve. Second man.
Could be a costly error there for Team Ortiz.
11, serving 17.
Don't want to relinquish those half outs and side outs with those kind of errors.
Point.
Now you're starting to see a few points strung together here from Mondo Ortiz and Vic Perez.
They're known as Ortiz around these parts, Dave.
Check it. It's 12, serving 17.
Just saw Aoife McCarthy, Dave, at the trainer's table getting her arm wrapped in K-tape. Don't know if that's an injury she developed during that doubles match or if that doubles match has yet to start, but keep our eye on that.
13, serving 17. Check it.
Now we're at 14-17.
I know,
and
Dave.
Once again, like we said, Dave, when the team gets to 15, that's when it becomes more interesting.
Yeah, we're approaching 2 minutes
13,
left
serving 17.
in the first half here.
Point.
And Dave, I think this is about exactly what we expected.
Mondo finds himself on a nice little run, and Sean Lenning just decides to switch
14,
sides with Marco Chavez.
Point.
Mondo is just completely hot right now. Did he skip that ball or make it in?
No, that was good.
Yeah, so
Dave, you see the average
you
margin?
can switch sides all you want.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
15, serving 17.
The average margin of victory, Dave, for Paul Brady in
short
singles
ball.
was 14 points per game
Second
at this
serve.
championship. Averaged a 21-7 win. You'll see in the doubles that the average game win will be
Point.
closer to just 3 or 4 points per game for the winning team.
16, serving 17.
You're seeing an illustration of that now. 33 points played. These teams as close as it could possibly be through 33 points.
Wow, look at that hop that Marcos put on that ball. Put a reverse that flipped away from Mondo Ortiz, who banged his knee on the ground there, is asking for the towel, but he's going to get up limping. Look at this replay.
I thought it was his hand that
Marcos
hit the
knew
ground.
exactly. Marcos knew exactly what Mondo was going to do there, and then threw that reverse. That puts Lenning and Marcos back into the server's box here, up 17-16, but they had a much bigger lead than this.
Well, I think
You need to do something about that. You need a Band-Aid, or you got to go to the tournament desk, or
our referee seems to think this is the NBA where you
can't
can't
have
play
blood
with
on
a
the
cut.
court. Door.
Dave, you
You got to
can
take care of the blood.
wipe the court of sweat, then wipe your face with it. Then give it to your opponent and he'll wipe his face with it, but you cannot have a cut on the court. You understand that, right, Dave?
Well, I can't, from the angle that we have with the camera, I couldn't see how bad it was. I mean, if it's gushing, it needs to be taken care of. It's just like having a wet floor. I think it's the right call if it's really bleeding. Like I said, when he went down, it looked like he popped his knee there, and you can see instantly that he was checking on it. But if he's bleeding, yeah, I think he should, and now the referee's down there to inspect. I believe this is an injury timeout, so I know the referee is logging the time here as a player has to go get treated at the first aid tent. This is the 65th USHA 4-Wall National Handball Championships, doubles. Marco Chavez and Sean Lenning found themselves down 0-7, came back on a nice run. They got 3 points, traded back and forth for a while. 3-7 was the score, and then it went up to 11-7 in favor of Sean and Marcos. Then they went on to a 17, or I should say 16-11 lead. Now it's 16-17 in favor of Lenning and Marcos. So Mondo Ortiz and Vic Perez on a nice comeback, and really because of the play of Mondo Ortiz. Who's pretty much been the MVP here in the second half for Team Cortez. Or as I like to call it, Victories. Not sure if you've been able to check out the new iPad and iPhone app from the App Store that the USHA has put out to the public. It's pretty cool. You can do a lot of different things on it. You can experience that official app from the United States Handball Association. The free US Handball app is available and can be downloaded right now during this timeout. It only takes just a couple seconds. They'll help you find a place to play, take you to your next tournament, as it has a interactive map. It'll show you live scores. It'll deliver the latest handball news, so much more. You can flip through the mobile-friendly rules book as well to brush up on your handball knowledge. While you're away from the courts, you can stay connected and buy handball gear, view the Handball Hall of Fame images along with the top 20 handball picks of the month. That's in the App Store with Apple. It's available for iPad and iPhone devices only at this time. Us Droid users will eventually get one. And I believe somebody's tracking scores of this match right now, I've been told, on that app that's on the App Store with Apple. If you just tuned in, Marco Chavez and Sean Lenning had a nice, comfortable lead, and they were rolling. And then Mondo Ortiz does what he does. When he's down, he at times can fight through with some of the most remarkable play you've ever seen, and that's exactly what happened. As they almost tied the score at 16-17, almost brought it to 17-17. And then there was a kind of a weird play here. Marcos plays this shot from Mondo absolutely perfect. He knew he was going to come right back down. Marcos got low for it, and then Mondo dives because of a reverse that Marcos puts on that ball, and it seemed to open up a wound from a previous dive, either in Big Ball Outdoor or here in the tournament. And the referee saw the blood and decided to stop play, and also decided to put Mondo Ortiz on the clock, so to speak, and say, you have about 10 minutes to figure this out. You need to go get cleaned up. Now, Dave, I didn't get to see the blood at all or the injury, so I can't comment on the severity of it, but it was enough that it was a warning to our referee. And I believe what we're going to do here is just go ahead and take a break, and we'll come back when the players get back onto the court. So we're going to take a brief one here and be back for more of this, what was exciting game number one. Hopefully have more excitement right around the corner. For Dave Fink, Chris Grad, Linda Manning, my name is Dave Vincent. We'll have more coverage from the USHA Four-Wall National Handball Championships as we mend that wound from Mondo Ortiz. We'll be back in just a bit here at WPHLive.tv.
Get a remarkable clean with non-toxic and biodegradable Simple Green all-purpose cleaner. You can use it straight out of the bottle on Tough Grime or dilute the concentrated formula to make multiple bottles of daily cleaner. Safe for all washable surfaces, Simple Green can be used indoors and out. From kitchens and bathrooms to living and play areas, countertops and floors to furniture and clothing. Keep your home and our world clean with Simple Green.
We are back here. As soon as we take that break, the players started to come back onto the court. As Mondo Ortiz has a nice return of serve and gets the half out. Sean Lenning trying to extend this, and let's see if he steps his level up just a little bit.
16.
Ball could have been called short, no call.
Right out.
And Dave, whatever
And Mondo Ortiz,
He's appealing to serve.
cut Mondo might have had there didn't
Short.
affect his left-handed rollout.
He's calling it short. We couldn't see
I thought it was short as well.
He couldn't see it.
There's been a lot of intimidation of linesmen
Thought it was good serve.
throughout this event by the pro players, one in particular.
I got 1 degree with a good serve. Side out.
let's go back again, Chris, and look at that one more time. I see that ball is short. I saw it short live. And I just lost it on the replay, but I believe it's short. Yeah, so that's about 3 inches to 4 inches short.
Every ball must land in the same spot that you watch, Dave, because it's always 3 to 4 inches.
But when you can see daylight between the red line and the pavement,
yeah,
you know it's more than 1 inch.
Short. Second serve. Replay. Screen ball.
Whoa, whoa.
16, serving 17. Point.
Sean Lenning just tried to dump that ball into the right corner, but just didn't hit it low enough. Mondo there for an easy left-handed re-kill.
Point.
And there's that Bermuda Triangle, Dave, in the back left corner. We're not seeing a lot of balls come back to enter that corner.
18, serving 17. Point.
Terrible error there from Sean Lenning. Looks like his shoulder is ailing.
19, serving 17.
This is a pretty dramatic turnaround here.
Well, Mondo's really the one that turned it around. His play has been superb.
It's 19, serving 17.
And I like how Mondo fixed his knee problem.
Short
That
ball.
ball looked like it slid.
And you see a fist pump, so you know it was a short or a
the
slide
line.
or both.
I call it short.
I think it got over the line,
I
but
did
I thought
too.
the ball slid on the ground.
That was a good serve.
No,
It's bad luck for
it was
Mondo.
actually short.
If it
I
was
call
good,
Short. I call short.
The ref didn't call short. The ref didn't call short because Marco Chavez appealed it. He wouldn't have appealed a short call. Dave, there's a little bit of there's some issues here. I don't recall seeing players yell at line judges like this, but beyond this confusion, the referee just said that he called it short during the live play, which he did not do. He didn't call it short. It was the appeal came from Marco Chavez. Marcos would not have appealed that.
I think the referee
asking for that ball.
The referee called it
Yeah.
short after Marcos missed the shot. That was my understanding. We'd have to listen to it with sound, the replay.
Well, Marcos was the one that appealed it, so it wouldn't. The referee didn't call it a short. If the referee called it a short, it would have been Mondo or Vic to appeal, and they didn't.
Okay, here we go.
By the way, the ball was short.
We're gonna replay.
Oh, replanning. Serve, which I don't think you really can do, can you?
Take two, 19, serving 17.
Well, you can, and you know, perhaps the referee thinks that's the most fair thing to do here.
Okay, here we go. Service. Point.
Oh, wow.
Mondo had a
There
great
it
look
is.
with the left and didn't put it away, but then just blast it right at Marcos' feet. Smart shot.
20, serving 17. Side out.
Chavez and Lenning now with
17,
two serves
serving 20.
to score 4 points, and you'd think they need to score 4, Dave, in this inning, because if you give Marcos and Vic 2 innings,
Bad bounce off the front wall.
I don't think it was a bad bounce off the front. Maybe it was. I thought Marcos was lobbying to the referee that he couldn't take his arm and swing back because Vic was in the way.
I saw a bad bounce off the front wall. Replay. 17, serving 20.
Yeah, see, Marcos thought that Sean was going to get that ball. That's where that hesitation came from, and there's a half out. And Sean Lenning is really going to have to try to serve out right here because
second man.
Vic and Mondo are just playing too hot right now.
20. Point.
It's a beautiful inside out.
18, serving 20.
Down the right wall slider from Sean, and that's what it's going to have to take is some deception out here.
Point.
Oh, wow. Amazing shot there from Sean Lenning, now at 19-20.
Hold it, hold it. 19, serving 20. Point.
Another great shot from Sean Lenning, bringing this at 20-20 here. You hear the gallery yelling timeout. Unbelievable. How does Marco Chavez and Sean Lenning pull that out?
well, it was Sean Lenning there in the end who found that serve to the left, hit a couple of amazing kill shots, and what looked like it was Team Ortiz's game goes to Sean Lenning and Marco Chavez, and with it, all the momentum in this match.
Unbelievable ending there. 4 straight points from Sean Lenning, who did it all on his own and executed brilliantly when his team was down 17-20, and now Mondo Ortiz is coming in and is going to appeal, and I don't think you can do that after the game is called.
No. Not sure what he's appealing right now.
Mondo is going, he's appealing the serve, but the referee's already called it a game, and then the referee said both agreed with me anyway. So nonetheless, Sean Lenning and Marco Chavez pull it out 21-20. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back. Game number 2 coming up in just a few shakes. We'll have it here at WPHlive.tv. Stick with us.
Get a remarkable clean with non-toxic and biodegradable Simple Green all-purpose cleaner. Safe for all washable surfaces, Simple Green can be used indoors and out. Keep your home and our world clean with Simple Green.
Edel is the full brand. We make everything. We're a brand. We represent handball athletes. We represent the sport of handball in our attitude, in our imagery, in what we say and how we communicate. This is what I love about handball. It's hyper athletic. It's combative. You know, it's just one man versus another, and their body and their mind versus another body and mind. It's the battle. I mean, I love the battle. To play handball, you have to have a ton of heart. You know, you have to have a will to win, extraordinary athleticism. So that's why I love the game. One of the things that really sets us apart is our desire, number one, to grow the sport of handball and attract new players to the sport. We believe that with the right brand, partnered with the right pros, these guys are incredible athletes and their team Edel, and together we're promoting the sport of handball. Our number one mission is to grow the sport. Our number two mission, but is just as important, is to make premium handball equipment that improves the performance of handball athletes. The WPH is putting handball on the map on an international and national level, showcasing the pros the way that we want to showcase the pros. When people see pro handball athletes in action, they're going to want to play this sport.
Since 1979, Tucson Rolling Shutters has manufactured energy-saving products to fit your lifestyle. Our rolling shutters are the ultimate in energy savings, security, and comfort. Our exterior solution screens reduce energy costs by protecting your home from the sun's harmful heat and glare. We ship our products to authorized dealers all across North America. For a dealer near you or to become a dealer, see our website, TucsonRollingShutters.com.
Michael Adams?
Here.
Michael Adams?
Here.
Michael Adams.
Michael Adams.
Students who miss 18 days of school in any grade risk falling behind and not graduating. Absences add up. Keep track at boostattendance.org today.
Get a remarkable clean with non-toxic and biodegradable Simple Green all-purpose cleaner. Safe for all washable surfaces, Simple Green can be used indoors and out. Keep your home and our world clean with Simple Green.
Back at Los Caballeros Sports Village in Fountain Valley, California, game number 2 between Marco Chavez, his partner, Sean Lenning, Mondo Ortiz, and Vic Perez. My name is Dave Vincent. Dave Fink back in the booth, and had a very interesting ending there as Sean Lenning found his team down and really down for the count for maybe even the rest of the tournament, trailing 17-20. Sean gets into the server's box after a half out and scores 4 points on his own. Couple aces, 2 remarkable plays, 1 slider down the right wall to get the 18th point. The 19th point came with an overhand off-balance drive into the left corner that just was as close to a flat mouse as you can possibly
Score
get.
0, serving 0.
And then 2 more remarkable serves to close it out.
Service. Side out. Zero, sir. 0, serve 0. Point.
In the women's pro doubles final, it is Aisling Riley and Sienna Nishareen up 18-13 in game number 1.
Point. Thank you. Check it. 1, serve 0. Head bounce. Replay. 1, serve 0. Oh, replay the ball. Hinder ball.
Kind of a strange ending to that shot there. Sean was following a shot in, off balance, fell into Mondo Ortiz, who then dove and almost got it, but
1, serving 0.
Sean clearly disrupted Mondo's path.
Second man. One, serving 0. One, serving 0. Point. 2, serving 0. Point. 3, serving 0.
Much like the first game,
Bad
Lenning
bounce
and-
off the front wall.
Lenning and Marcos Chavez off to a nice 3-0 run.
3, serving 0. Right out. Zero, serving 3. Second
Incredible
man.
little soft paddle shot from Marcos Chavez there.
0, serves 3. Point. 1, serves 3. Point.
That ball just clips the sidewall deep.
2, serves 3.
And another point for Mondo Ortiz.
Point. 3, serves 3. Point.
And a lazy shot from Sean Lenning gives the 4th straight point to Mondo.
4, serves 3. Side out.
Mondo got that return that he wanted and was unable to convert there, side out.
3, serves 4.
You see Sean Lenning and Marcos have a little brief chat. I think Sean was saying, serve down to the right wall here.
4, serves 4. Replay the ball, hinder ball. 4, serves 4.
Coming up after this match, it'll be the men's pro big ball doubles.
Check it. 4, serves 4. Point.
There's a lot of points being put on to the scoreboard by
5,
both
serves 4.
teams at this moment. It's a pretty steady pace.
David, was Aisling Riley and Sienna Shireen taking game 1 of the women's doubles final, 21-14 over Katrina Casey and Aoife McCarthy.
5, serves 4.
That first game just wrapping up.
Point. serves 4. Check it. 6 serves 4.
Wow. You're not going to see the ball get any lower to the ground than that. Half man. And Sean now steps in.
6 serves 4. Side out. 4 serving 6. No, short ball. Second serve.
Nice impressive kill shot there from Marco Chavez. And that's what it's going to take here, because right now Mondo Ortiz is so hot. There's another flip. Marcos and Sean trading places in the backcourt.
Right out.
Marcos has had 2 straight flat rollouts here.
6 serving 4. Long. Second serve. Second man. Six serving 4. Right out. Four serving 6. Point. Five serving 6.
Vic Perez serving here.
Replay.
Dave, after an hour and 5 minutes, these teams separated by just 2 points. But the most important number is 1 game.
5 serving 6.
For Sean Lenning and Marco Chavez.
Oh, bad bounce.
Well, Dave, it doesn't really become official until you get to about 15, and
serves.
then you see
Replay.
all of these guys really step it up. You just hope that when it gets to 15, you're not trailing by 15.
Second man.
Dave, I want to talk to Chris. I think that my headphones are a little too low. I can barely hear the referee.
Replay. It's 5 serving 6.
That's the first time
I was just
actually
kidding.
Point.
I feel like I'm going deaf every time he calls a score.
6 serving 6. No, short ball. Second serve. Point. Seven serving 6.
Dave, both teams scoring 27 points in this match so far.
Point. Thank you. Check it. 7, serving 6.
Hey, was it Mondo Ortiz that cut his knee, or was it Sean Lenning? Because we see Sean now with that bandage on his knee.
8, serving 6.
It was Mondo, but Sean's been sliding on that one knee. You saw it at the end of game number 1.
Second man.
Does anybody in the sport of small ball 4-wall run and hit the ball as good as Sean Lenning can?
Point.
Yeah, you'd say he's got the best running forehand in the sport.
9, serving 6.
I know some of the top players like Alan Garner and Luis Moreno can hit the ball off balance as good as anybody on the planet, but on the flat run, Sean is very creative.
Serving 6.
Much like we saw in game 1, Mondo and Vic playing very well midway through the game and took a big lead in game 1. Now they're seemingly on the verge of another pretty substantial lead, and they ended up losing that first game 21-20. Sean really catches you off guard with that overhand kill.
Yeah, it almost feels as if he's going to let that go to the back wall or take a few steps back and go to the roof, and so you kind of mosey back with him, and he doesn't go there. He has you leaning back. This is game number 2 of the men's pro doubles small ball finals, where Sean Lenning and Marco Chavez somehow pulled out game number 1. They were up big and then lost their lead and then came back with 4 straight very quick points at the very end to win 21-20.
Okay, time in. 6, serving 10. Slide, slid, the ball slid. Six, serving 10. Thank you. Check it. Six, serving 10. Second man.
Marcos really has not been converting on his kill shot attempts here in game number 2.
Serving 10.
It would appear that Vic Perez would be the freshest of these players here, but Mondo Ortiz is playing as about as fresh as anybody in this tournament.
It's 10, serving 6.
We've seen that happen so many times, where a player gets all the way to the front wall, the ball hits the front wall after hitting the back wall, and it's either a swing or a miss or a miss hit.
That was your shot. You took it. No, you read it good. You went for it. And
I agree with the referee here.
you read it. You went for it, and you shot. You were there. You took the shot.
Mondo Ortiz is complaining, saying that he had to go cover for Vic because Vic got set into a pick by Marcos, saying, wait a second, that wasn't even mine to get. I can see the argument from Mondo Ortiz, and it is frustrating when you're playing in it. You see that your partner is held up for some reason, and you go for it to cover them.
Replay, second man, 10 serving 6.
But I believe the referee made the right call.
Side out.
There's a rare miss there from Mondo Ortiz, skips it in,
6
left-handed.
serving 10. Replay. Handball. 6 serving 10.
That's another error from Marco Chavez here.
Six, serving 10. Right out.
You can make a highlight reel off of any match that
10, serving
Mondo
6.
Ortiz plays. You're going to see at least 10 flat rollouts.
Short. Second serve. I call it short. They both agree. Second serve. Point. Serving 6. Replay, in your ball. Serving 6. Oh, screen ball, screen. Serving 6.
There's a full house here in the gallery. Place is packed.
Short. Second serve.
Hope the fire department doesn't hear about this crowd, Dave. I've been told they're over capacity by 31 people.
Luckily, the fire department's here playing handball.
12, serving 6.
12-6 score here.
Point. Serving 6. Short. Second serve. Right out. Oh, second man. 13, serving 6. Short. Second serve. Side out.
That's the first real solid play we've seen from Marco Chavez in about 20 minutes. Now he and his partner Sean Lenning are getting together here to talk a little bit about strategy. They're still within striking distance, but if Team Victory or Vic Ortiz decide to put another 4 or 5 on the scoreboard, it might be all she wrote here.
6, serving 13. Slide.
We're less than halfway through this match, Dave, believe it or not.
Take 2, replay.
Already been on court for an hour and 20 minutes.
Point. Seven, serving 13. Side out. Serving 7. Point.
Dave, do you start thinking about a tiebreaker here if you're Sean Lenning and Marco Chavez, or still think that you're in this second game?
I think from the standpoint of the fan, you would think that you start thinking of the second game, but the way that Sean Lenning can score and Marcos can do his thing, I think you don't quite write it off yet. We saw Sean Lenning score 4 points in less than a minute and 13 seconds to close out game number 1. 4 points would put him at 14-11. Right now, they can't even get a point. So it seems like it's frustrating as a viewer, because you say, well, I don't think they'll ever score again here, so why don't they just throw it and relax and try to save up for the 11 point. And, and perhaps it might be smart just to look at it from that angle and say, there's only 11 more points to go. If we go to a tiebreaker, I would rather have a 5-minute break and just go attack 11 points as opposed to just stand around for 14 points. But Sean Lenning getting a 2-minute glove change here is actually going to probably rejuvenate his squad just a little bit.
Lenning and Chavez would have to outscore Ortiz 14-6 to win this game. So almost 2.5 to 1. Very tough task, but we did see them make that late game rally in game number 1.
This is game number 2 of the men's pro doubles finals of the small ball 4-wall national handball championships, with the 65th USHA tournament held here at Los Caballeros Sports Village in Fountain Valley, California. Earlier today, we saw Katrina Casey take down Ashleen Riley in a tiebreaker. It was Ashleen up 4-0 to start game number 3, and then never scored again. Katrina got the bounce back in her step. She became more aggressive and assertive, and she took down her 3rd straight trophy here.
She's got a lot of those 3 straight titles.
Well, the big one that she wants is one that only happens every 3 years, and that's coming up in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, at the World Handball Championships, where the entry is still open. They've kept it open until June 30th. And our group will do a live broadcast of those games starting on the 18th. On the 17th, we'll be providing overflow coverage of the show
Gracias,
court
Marcos.
at the university.
So that's not an official announcing day, or it is? Just like to put that.
It's all about you, isn't it?
Well, I'm trying to set my schedule here. This is the only way I find out about things, either that or reading your Facebook wall.
Score
You have to
14, serving 7.
You have to schedule suntan appointments and
Short.
hanging out with friends. I mean, you plan that far ahead of time?
Well,
Second
yes.
serve.
For you, I think it's planning your sleep.
There you go. Second man.
Some of us sleep more than 2 hours a night.
Would know.
14, serving 7.
14-7 here. Mondo's been the MVP for his squad, his team, really playing remarkable ball, as Lenning and Marco seem to be quite flat at the moment, and Sean gets that side out. And let's see if they can answer that question that you asked during that 2-minute glove change, Dave.
Second man. Seven serves 14. Work. Second serve. Oh, replay. Hinder ball. 7 serves 14. Side out. Serving 7. Replay.
Ooh.
Green ball. 14, serving 7.
I really think, Dave, in doubles, players should call their own hinders and the referee should overrule only an egregious hinder call. Because, you know, Dave, when you're in there, only you know if you want the shot or you don't. Sometimes what may look like a screen to the referee isn't, and conversely, what may seem like it's not a screen is.
Well, we saw about 15 shots back, Marcos was screened on that play that Sean Lenning killed with his left hand, but Marcos didn't stop the play, and it looked like it from that camera angle that he should have. When playing doubles, I personally don't like to call screens at all.
Right.
Because sometimes you work so hard. There's 20 shots, 30 shots. You've been setting up your opponents for the last 10 minutes to make a certain error, and you finally get it, and you're slightly shadowed. But you've been working so hard to get exactly what you want, and the referee stops play. And you just really want to pull your hair out. And even though technically it is a hinder by the book, but it's exactly what you're trying to get. You're trying to accomplish having your right side opponent or even the left side out of position. You finally get it. You're slightly hindered, but that's okay. You can fight through it, and then the play's stopped. So I agree that it should be called, but then there's certain players, and you know who they are, or they'll find a way to take advantage of that during crunch time.
17, serving 7. Check it.
And to answer your earlier question about letting it go, this is the moment you let it go if you're Sean Lenning and Marcos Chavez.
Check it. Replay, take 2. 17, serving 7. No, short ball. Second serve. Point. 18, serving 7.
Team Ortiz has to be thinking to themselves, if we could have just scored that last point in the first game, we might be just 3 points from winning this championship right now.
Yeah, more than might be, they would be.
18, serving 7.
I see Lenning and Marcos is completely out of gas here. It will be exciting in a tiebreaker, regardless of all of that. There's a nice kill shot there from Marco Chavez, who goes to that left corner, left front kill. Hard to do, does it well.
I get a picture of you guys.
7, serving 18. Slide.
And David, was Aisling Riley and Sienna Nichirine winning that women's pro doubles.
7, serving 18. Check it.
21-14, 21-11 over Katrina Casey and Eva McCarthy. So some measure of revenge
Replay,
for
take 2.
Aisling Riley after the disappointing tiebreaker loss to Katrina Casey a little bit earlier this morning.
Point. 8, serving 18.
And finally, the first points for Team Chavez Lenning since, well, 29 minutes on my stopwatch. That's a long drought. A beautiful left-handed kill from Mondo Ortiz, who forces the half out. Sean Lenning now serving.
8, serving 18.
And it's actually the first time Lenning and
Point.
Chavez have scored. And now there's a second time since Sean put that wrap on his knee.
9, serving 18. Point. 10, serving 18. Oh, bad bounce. Replay.
Don't know if you noticed it, Dave, but Sean Lenning's
And
now
serving
the guy
18.
wearing red.
Something about you in red on this Sunday.
Well, I mean, it's just, they could have coordinated a little better. Doesn't Tiger wear red on Sundays? He used to when he won back
Well, he
8
still
years
wears
ago.
red on his way to an 85.
Timeout.
Mondo Ortiz looks completely gassed right now, Dave, and that's why I feel that a tiebreaker is going to be full of drama, because you're going to see if Mondo, who has been the MVP thus far, is getting tired, you're not going to see those flat rollouts in the tiebreaker. It might become an interesting final here.
30 seconds. enough food, so I can eat buffet.
10 seconds.
I'm gonna come back for Venice next weekend.
You go, time in. Yeah.
That should be interesting.
Door. Thank you. Time in. Scores 11, serving 18. Side out. Serving 11. Check it. Replay, take 2. Check it.
Vic Perez and Mondo Ortiz just 3 points away from forcing a tiebreaker here in the men's pro double finals.
Second man. Serves 11. Point. Serves 11. Point.
That's a nice crack serve from Mondo Ortiz, who's seeking his last point here to force a tiebreaker. We will be taking a quick 5-minute break if that happens soon.
Side out. Serves 20. Point. Serves 20. Point.
They have a couple more points here, and you have to think that Chavez and Lenning
13 serves 20.
will start to be able to see the finish line.
That's why doubles are very strange, and things like this can happen.
14 serves 20.
We saw Chavez and Lenning rally from 20 to 17 in game number 1. Here they are at 14-20 with the momentum.
Beautiful shot there. Left-handed paddle.
Second man. 14 serves 20.
Can Sean get 7 in a row?
He'll likely need it.
Well, I don't think.
Serve.
I think time's running out on getting points. We saw Sean run down 4 in a row to close out game number 1. But can he do 7?
Side out. 20 serves 14. No replay.
It's going to be explosive here.
Play the ball.
20, serving 14.
There it is. On to Ortiz, hits the last shot to force a tiebreaker, and we're going to take a break. We'll be back in 5 minutes for game number 3, which will be up next, 11-point contest to determine who will be the national champion in 4-wall small ball. We'll be back in just a bit. Stick around. More action here from Lowe's Cab at the 65th USHA 4-wall National Handball Championships with WPHLive.tv.
Get a remarkable clean with non-toxic and biodegradable Simple Green all-purpose cleaner. Spray straight from the bottle on heavy grime or dilute the concentrated formula to make up to 11 bottles of daily cleaner. Safe for all washable surfaces, Simple Green can be used indoors and out. From kitchens and bathrooms to living and play areas, countertops and floors to furniture and clothing. Keep your home and our world clean with Simple Green.
There are a million places you'd never consider texting. So why would you do it while driving? Leave risky driving to the professionals. Stop the texts, and together we can stop the wrecks.
NFC, AFC, offensive linemen, defensive tackles, quarterbacks, and cornerbacks are all living united to ensure the academic success of millions of kids in our communities all the way to graduation day. But that won't happen without you. So take the pledge at unitedway.org. Make a difference in the life of a child. Suit up like your favorite NFL players and become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor with United Way.
Rethink what you know about this Vegas icon. Elevate your expectations at the Stratosphere Hotel, Casino, and Tower. See what's new, up, down, and all around.
My life is full of statistics. Thing is, I could have dropped out of school and become one myself, but I didn't because I had people that believed in me. Here's another statistic. 7,000 students drop out every school day. That's one every 26 seconds. It's time that students know that we believe in them.
Inspire a student and share your message of support at boostup.org.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today. Oh, you should pick that up. Oh, you're such a dork. Loser. Here, let me help you with that. Oops.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Oh, look. Your crush is looking at you. Poor you.
They want to help, but don't know how.
See, no one here's gonna help you, because no one
Teach your
likes
kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
You want some more
Go, time in. 0, sir, 0. Point. One, sir, 0.
And Dave, it looks like Mondo Ortiz is just letting it all hang out here. He's swinging for the fences on pretty much every swing. I think he's telling himself, we got one more to 11, and I've got 4 days until my next tournament, so just going to swing freely.
2, serving 0.
It was Sean Lenning and Marco Chavez rallying in the first game to take the one-game lead with a 21-20
point
victory, and then Mondo Ortiz and Vic Perez pretty much dominating game number 2, leading throughout, leading by as many as 12 points, ended up winning by 7, 21-14, and now they're leading 3-0 here in the tiebreak. Remember, in our first match of the day, we saw Katrina Casey win game number 1, drop game number 2, and fall behind 4-0 in the tiebreaker before scoring 11 straight points to win that match.
Big setup there for Vic Perez. Marcos may have overhit that ball.
And that's one of the first balls we've seen Vic Perez kill, and he really laid that one out 2 inches high.
I call the serve good. Both agree.
All the way back to the serve here. Goodness, that is a nice shot down on one knee as well, Dave.
4, serve 0.
You'd really have to say, Dave, that Vic Perez and Mondo have outplayed Sean Lenning and Marco Chavez in this match. But we're tied at 1 game all, and we're in a race to 11. Of course, it's Vic Perez and Mondo Ortiz with the advantage early in this tiebreaker.
0. Short. Call the ball short. They both agree. Second serve.
Oh, look at that. Vic Perez looked like he was fooled just a little bit and decided to flip his legs around as quick as possible, put his hand on the ball, and rolled it out into the left corner.
0. Oh, bad bounce. It's a bad bounce. Bad bounce off the front wall. Replay. Take 2.
That's frustration right there from Sean Lenning.
Side out.
Lenning's arguing that just because it hits the glass does not mean it's a bad bounce.
0, serves 5. Thank you. Check it.
And you see the great teamwork there.
Take 2, replay.
Mondo steps in and takes that off the right side wall. That shows you that these guys play a lot of doubles together, Dave.
Well, they've definitely communicated it. It's a hard, very hard ball to return in doubles.
Point.
And the first point is on the scoreboard here for Chavez and Sean Lenning. And Dave, do you find it interesting, like I do, Vic Perez and Marcos are both sponsored by the same group, wearing the same exact shirts, but they're on opposite teams. Handball's interesting that way. Well, I mean, I know that in golf you can have Nike-sponsored players going up against each other, but these guys look like they're outfitted to play doubles with each other, which they did do, and they won the U.S. Open title together. But it almost looks like they're on the same team right there if you take a snapshot.
Mondo Ortiz is having some problems with his goggles, Dave. He's adjusting them quite a bit in the middle of rallies.
That's been his whole career.
They both
You recall
agree.
those early days when Mondo was 17, when they would fall off of his face in the middle of the rally? There's some controversy at U.S. Open and Nationals.
Well, there's no doubt that those type of goggles are a lot safer. Research has been done on that, but they're not safe if they're off your face.
Six, serving 2. Second man. 6, serving 2.
Great shot there from Sean Lenning. Gets his team back into the server's box, and the eye guards of Mondo fell off again during that rally as he asked for the towel.
Two, serving 6.
Just watching the referee here, he just looks away into the other court while Mondo's yelling at him. And now they're going to replay it.
Visual. So, 2, serving 6. 2, serving 6. We go.
We're getting close to the 10-second mark here.
6.
Wow. Revolving door flat rollout mouse from Marco Chavez, now bringing it to 3-6.
Point. 3, serving 6. serving 6.
Boy, Sean has quick hands, and then Vic gets it back somehow, handcuffs Sean Lenning. And what could have been a point for Team Lenning, it is a half out now.
4 serving 6.
Thought that ball was short.
I call the serve good. I call it good. They both agree.
Wow.
It's a point. 5 serving 6.
Mondo looks like he's out of gas here, Dave, and now it's 6-6, all tied up here, going to 11. This is basically 1 game to 5, and whoever can get there first wins the national trophy. And it was Mondo going to the right corner. Who's going to have enough gas to close this one out?
6 serving 6.
Dave, you were talking about lead changes and having big leads in doubles, and things can really change here. I can recall a national doubles final. Nadi Alvarado Jr. and myself were playing, and we went up 6-0 to start the tiebreaker. And
second man, check it.
I said to myself, you know, we just won this. I mean, we're up 6-0. The next inning, in the first side out of that match, John Robles and Chris Watkins win it, got 9 straight points. Now we're trailing 6-9. And just like that, all of your dreams are kind of going away. And here you saw that big lead for Ortiz and Vic Perez neutralized by Lenning and Marco Chavez, now tied at 6.
Dave, if you're Mondo and you're already a little bit tired, all that yelling is going to make you more tired.
Yeah, but he's a motivational type player, so that yelling, I think, helps him. Wouldn't help maybe you or myself, but Mondo definitely needs to conserve energy, but he's this type of guy. It's amazing get there from Sean Lenning. Oh, look at that. Sean Lenning dumps it up front, dug out. Now Lenning's taking charge here. These guys are all playing within a 7-foot radius. Oh, and then there's an error from Mondo Ortiz, and Lenning and Chavez have just taken the lead.
And Ortiz is Peixoting right now, taking a lap around the court after losing a rally.
You might call a timeout.
Timeout.
So he does the full Peixote, which is a lap, and then a timeout. So he buys himself about 35 seconds, plus the timeout, which invariably goes longer than a minute. So this could be 2 minutes here, Dave.
Well, you might get a glove change after this timeout is over with. There might be even more time. I believe the scoreboard says 8-6. I thought it was 7-6. Referee didn't call the score when he went into the tiebreaker timeout here, but I don't know if you can get any more people in this gallery here at Los Cab.
Well, we'll find out, Dave, when that amazing big ball 4-wall doubles takes place, just immediately following this one.
Scores 8 serving 6.
I'm not
Nice
even
dig
sure.
right there from Vic Perez.
Armando pressing a little bit right now, and Dave, this is why I think that all that emotion works against them sometimes.
9 serving 6.
It's hard to play when you're that amped up.
Wow, and now it is match point for Lenning and Marco Chavez here at 10-6.
Serving 6. Slide.
What?
Yeah.
Referee called a slide there, Dave.
No, the player asked for it. He said it's not. We'll see if there's any discussion about that after this rally ends.
Well, there's discussion while the rally's going between you and I. Now this is a huge setup for Mondo Ortiz, and he converts it. And nobody's discussing that, talking from the referee in the middle of the rally at match point, besides me, which I regret.
Score 6, serving 10.
Wow, nice shot again from Mondo Ortiz. Now it's 7-10.
Strange shot there from Marco Chavez to set up that Ortiz right corner kill. Just push the ball right down the middle of the court.
Point.
A little bit of contact there, but Mondo wanted the shot and took it. Another right corner kill.
Can they get 3 more points, Dave? That's the question.
Serving 10. Check it. Replay, take 2.
Vic Perez has such a great right-handed kill. Haven't seen him hit many of those here in this match, but he could really make the difference here if he's able to execute a few here.
Replay. Serves 10.
This is only the first man.
Check it.
So even if they get Vic out, Dave, Mondo still with that amazing serve gonna
right.
Replay, take 2.
have another whack at it, and you would have to think that Vic and Mondo would have to score here.
Point.
Actually win it here. There's not a lot of complete side outs and doubles. It's
9 serving 10.
seeing somebody score at least a point. Oh, nice shot there. Marcos dug out, though, from Vic Perez. Leaves it up for Sean Lenning, who pushes it down the right side. And everybody goes with Lenning over there to the left. I like the strategy that Lenning and Marcos have, with Lenning defending the serve to the left of Mondo and switching sides. Wow, nice get there from Sean Lenning.
Wow.
Oh, look at that.
That's
Amazing
Marcos'
shot.
best shot there.
What a great time to throw out the best shot of the tournament from Marco Chavez. Watch what this ball does after it hits the side wall. Just flat. No slide calls, no complaining.
After trailing 5-0 here in this tiebreaker, Chavez and Lenning went on to score 10 of the next 11 points, but then found themselves just 2 points from losing the match. Now 2 servers to win it, Dave.
I see gloves.
Oh, no, not now.
Yeah. Now you hear some arguing. Referee finds it funny, but this really isn't funny. These guys have
10, serving 9.
Wow, that's an amazing ending here. And like you said, after trailing 0-5, they come back and take it as Sean Lenning and Marco Chavez win the national championship.
And Dave, we could have a collage of that celebration for Marco Chavez on this court. He's won so many doubles titles. And he always does it with that signature 2-footed jump. Amazing
I think he's
match.
going to pick up Sean Lenning here. That's the normal trademark when they win national championships together, as he hoists Lenning up in the air. But it is Sean Lenning and Marco Chavez winning this national championship in the tiebreaker 11-9, defeating Armando Ortiz and Vic Perez. And of course, they'll have, I believe, an award presentation, and you very well could hear our executive director of the USHA and the tournament director of these games, Vern Roberts, on the microphone, and we will be going to him for the presentation.
Armando and Victor, great match. That was a tough loss, Armando. Go outside to get the pictures in a minute. You had a nice lead the first game. Thank you. Yep. They came back. You were on top of it the second. Tiebreaker could have gone either way. What was the difference?
Here, I'll let you talk about this one.
About the first game?
All games.
All games.
Well, yeah, it was close, and we just try to stay in there with Marcos. They're hitting a lot of hard shots, and we just try to pass the ball, be steady as much as possible, and yeah, we just try to stay in there and give us a chance to win both games.
Marcos, you're a doubles kingpin. You and Sean, a great team. First of how many?
I have no idea. I'm losing count, I guess. Getting old with my age, forgetting. But it's better. It's a sweet, you know, to be able to play with the guys from the LA Athletic Club. And then I have not played with Sean since about 2004. Teaming up again just brings some excitement back to the game for him and I. So I'm very lucky and fortunate to have great partners to lead me to the victory.
You guys got 4 great, strong hands in there. That was a phenomenal final. You guys make a great team. You gonna do it again?
I hope so. It's always up to Marcos. He's the captain. So.
Marcos, the captain, 41 years old. He's about to go back on the court for the men's big ball open doubles. Marcos, great day for you. Thank you all.
And we are also going to congratulate Marcos and Sean Lenning for winning their small ball championship title here at Los Caballeros in Fountain Valley, California. It's the 65th USHA Four-Wall National Handball Championships. We are going to take a break and be back for the big ball doubles right around the corner. For Dave Fink, Chris Grad, Linda Manning, my name is Dave Vincent. Stay here at WPHLive.tv.
Get a remarkable clean with non-toxic and biodegradable Simple Green all-purpose cleaner. You can use it straight out of the bottle on Tough Grime or dilute the concentrated formula to make multiple bottles of daily cleaner. Safe for all washable surfaces, Simple Green can be used indoors and out. From kitchens and bathrooms to living and play areas, countertops and floors to furniture and clothing. Keep your home and our world clean with Simple Green.